Welcome back to Farm and Hammer, everyone. You might occasionally hear some tapping going on behind me. That is because we have some fence guys out here. They're putting in a lot of new metal gates and welding some fences for us. So that's the noise you're hearing. They're pounding some posts into the ground. I'll try to show you guys that after they're done. But I got a lot of stuff to cover today. First thing on the list, actually, change of plans. Another thing first. We had a cat have some more kittens, which was not planned. It wasn't supposed to happen. She was pretty young, but she had them anyway. We have 3 little girls, and they're hissing at me here because they don't know what's going on. Their eyes just opened yesterday. But all the dark colored ones, they're all calico, which means they're all female. And then this orange one here, he's actually a boy. So we're going to try to find homes for them as soon as they're old enough. But as you guys know, farm cats don't always last a long time out here, just because coyotes, dogs, and other things, they like to find them. So hopefully they're in a good spot here. This, like I said, this was her first batch of kittens, so she did have them on just plain concrete, which isn't great, but anyway, just thought I'd show you guys the cute little kittens. They're pretty cute. I'm about to feed the pigs, but before I do that, I've mentioned in the last couple of videos we've had a ton of rain, and this is actually the first week we're only going to have a few showers. So the last couple of days it's been really warm, a lot of sun, which is great, helping things dry out a little bit. And we also had a lot of people get some hay up, which is good. I don't think we're going to be cutting any hay this year. If we do, it'll just be, I don't know, a maximum of 40 acres, not much. But I do have a few fields that I want to get some fescue seed cut off of, but that will be for a later video. So feeding the pigs, I have a few garlic stems. We had took some garlic out of the garden. I'm gonna see if they eat it. I don't know if they will. If they do, I have a whole lot more. Looks like they're not very interested, doesn't seem like. And last thing, a little more garden scraps. This is just some lettuce, some watermelon, and some cucumbers, it looks like. They're chowing down on some garden scraps. They've already been fed their actual meal this morning, but this is just a little bonus. And this feeder was just a little bit bigger. They aren't technically big enough for it yet, so that's why they crawl in it. But as they get bigger, hopefully they won't crawl in it anymore. But as you can see, they're in this wooded area here. They've done some pretty good damage. This stuff was so thick in here before, couldn't hardly walk in here, and a lot of poison ivy. As you can tell, they have taken care of most of the vegetation besides the buck brush, and even some of that they've laid on the ground. They've also dug up this rubber mat here. I don't know what this is from, but this is where they sleep actually. So they lay on that, nice shade. We don't have a shelter out here for now because they have so much cover here. But and then out here, all of these huge stumps were actually in a big pile right here, and they've managed to flip them off the pile. And I don't know if they're, I don't know, it's super old wood, so it's kind of mostly just, it's pretty rotten. So I don't know if they're eating on this or just playing on it, I don't know. But they've torn it apart, looks like. Pretty much all of them they have. But anyway, that's the update on the pigs. Doing well, enjoying the woods, and we're going to try to get them through all those woods here soon. So anyway, happy with their progress so far. If you guys weren't so muddy, I'd pet you. I'm currently walking out here to the youngest group of bottle calves, and you guys saw me move them out here to this little pasture here last time. And last week I told you guys they didn't look very good and they weren't really filling out much. But after I got them out here on pasture, they've really been going to town on it, and they've definitely put on some weight and filled out a little bit more. You can tell this guy, who was pretty skinny last week, he's filling out. Anyway, they are done being by themselves. It's time to move them out with the rest of the bottle calves, which looks like they're on their way over here too. I can get my little train going here. Come on, guys. Come on. And the reason I just don't kick them out with the rest of them right when they're weaned, because I want to make sure they're all adjusting well. And if there aren't, I can pull one out just in case if for some reason they aren't eating all the grain they should be, or feeling sick, or not looking good. So anyway, all of them adjusted well to weaning. So it's now time to kick them out here with the rest of them. Come on. Come on. There we go. And last one. The new ones missed the memo. They walked around that way. And all the rest are still in here except for this one, he's new. Oh no, look who it is. So anyway guys, the calves are all together now, which is good. That's less chores that I have to do. They are hungry right now, so I'm gonna get them some grain, but you guys have seen me do that before, of course, so I'm now gonna move on to show you guys some of the beef calves and all the stuff we've been doing with them. So as you guys know, my dad has his own beef herd, and I have a few cows in there as well with his. Anyway, we did wean them 2 days ago now. And as you can tell, these are all heifers here. This isn't all of them. I'll show you the rest over there here in a minute. They're off in the shade. All of these calves were born last fall, and they're just now weaned. And as you can tell, they're not mooing a whole lot, not going crazy. My little baby calves are, but for the most part, these guys are already quiet, which is good. So what we do when weaning beef calves, we call it fence line weaning. I think that's the technical term as well. But basically we'll get all the cows and calves in this corral and in that corral, and we will separate them out. All the cows get put back on pasture right here next to the corral, and then all the calves stay here in the corral for a while. As you guys can tell, the heifers out there that are weaned, they aren't really bawling. They've only been there for 2 days now. And the cows, as you can tell, they're out there by the pond, pretty relaxed in the shade there. They're not too concerned, and definitely don't seem stressed out. So fence line weaning does minimize a lot of the stress. And as you guys know, if a calf is stressed out, they're not putting on weight, they're not eating as much, and there goes money right out of your pocket. So these heifers though, we aren't selling. These are some we're keeping back. I know a lot of people still haul their calves off to some other corral far away from the mothers, and that's just a whole lot of stress on both the mother and the calf. This way you're basically just taking away milk. When you take away both milk and the mother at the same time, it's super stressful. And normally when we wean calves, a lot of them tend to be a little wild, just because we're not out there every day with the beef herd. As you guys have seen, the last group of heifers we kept back, they were pretty wild, and a lot of them calmed down, but some didn't. So but for some reason this group, none of them were wild at all. There was one that she's not too sure of us, but the rest I can get 20 feet from them. They don't care at all, which is great. So we have a really calm group of heifers, and I'd honestly say this is probably the best group of heifers we've had in the last 5 years, which is good. But the problem is the bull that they're out of, he actually died. He got a spinal injury, that's what the vet called it, and he died within 24 hours. So good bull, threw a lot of great calves, and we were lucky to have gotten one last calf crop out of him. I'm gonna try to not stress them out too much, scare them off, but I know this wide angle lens doesn't actually show you how close I am, but I'm about 15 feet away. As you can see, they're not running too much, not going crazy. And you just like this red heifer here, really short, really stocky, really wide on the rear end, which is what you want in a heifer. She hasn't really shed her winter hair coat yet, so that's a little not exactly what we want, but as they're walking by me, you can get a pretty good look. we will be calling out at least 5 to 10 of these because they just aren't performing like we want them to. But this heifer here, super nice heifer, one of my favorites out of the group, which you can't tell, but she is super, super stocky. Really well built. You can see their temperament isn't too terrible. And last one's here just walking around. We got one that's still wanting to sleep over here. And the steers are not in here, but we did separate out and wean the bulls. We saved a few bulls just to consider maybe keeping them as replacements, since we've had some bad luck with bulls recently. So we're going to keep, I don't know, I think we've got 8 here to choose from, and as they develop and grow, we will make a decision on which ones to keep. There's some really good ones in here that I'm liking, so I'll have another video on these guys later. But they're currently in the bullpen with this new Hereford bull and the old Angus. If you guys have any questions or comments about weaning or anything else of the sort, or if you would just want to let me know how you guys wean in your process, I'd be happy to hear from you. Just let me know in the comments down below, and I'll be sure to check those out as soon as I can. So anyway guys, with that being said, thank you for watching, and I will see y'all next time.